voice we rise, in fire we reign. Genom Aesir, genom frost, our blades strike true, no matter the cost. Når vinden skriker og mørket kaller, the frostfang wardens will never fall.
Evening's freedoms, gallant guardians of getting rid of gloomy gusses. That was Frostfang March by Rogan Ravenheart, a tribute song to the Frostfang Wardens, who may or may not be related to the 104th Wolf Divers, but they do reside on Fenrir III and have really been giving Bungie the business today. I can hear some strong influences of far over the Misty Mountains cold from those nice Hobbit movies in this. I have always had a weakness for classic fantasy and enjoyed every movie of that franchise greatly. I know, it's a bit of a stretch to imagine me being into dragons and magic and unicorns and gallant knights winning the day against evil despite all the odds set against them, but the truth is out there now. Point is, I enjoyed listening to this latest banger from the legendary Ravenheart soundsmith greatly. The top news of the evening is the vicious Terminid infestation currently assailing Fenrir III, which has upset just about everybody. To make matters worse, this is some sort of mutant strain that overwhelmingly favors stalker genetic material, making their numbers skyrocket to the point that stalkers now appear as common foes. This strain has been designated the Predator strain by the Ministries of Truth and Science. Predator stalkers are an entirely different beast than Warren's garden variety stalkers. They demonstrate some degree of tactical intelligence, plotting paths to split up helldivers and, once isolated, ambush them with a high degree of aggression and precision, to the point that victims might only have a few seconds to react. Furthermore, hunters have been affected by the infusion of stalker DNA, making them significantly less ponderous and even faster and more agile than they already were. As if that wasn't bad enough, hunters possess the ability to vomit a corrosive acid to slow down victims who are in danger of escaping their wrath. Predator stalkers and hunters also appear to have some degree of additional armor. Roy, the greatest analyst and statistician of our time, is already looking into the matter. If there's a weakness to these beasts, he will find it. Add all of that together with the usual numbers of the Terminid swarm, and you have all the ingredients necessary for a rather difficult fight. There is one additional curiosity to mention. For whatever reason, Predator stalkers seem to demonstrate some degree of aggression toward normal Terminid chargers, attacking them and then devouring the bodies. Now that's just weird, and in no way, in no universe, in no era can that be good. Fortunately for you, Helldivers, I have had a chance to study the Predator strain, and they are far from unbeatable. Just different. These foul beasts can be felled, they can be beaten. They're faster, smarter, and hit harder than Terminids did in the past, and want nothing more than to chase you down and maul you to death. However, you still have the advantages of technology and range. What I'm trying to say is that crowd control is now more valuable than sheer damage output. If predators get close to you, you're dead. So, don't let them get close. Don't worry, this is much easier than it sounds. EMS mortars and EMS orbit strikes are extremely effective at slowing down, if not stopping, a swarm's charge entirely. So are stun grenades and stun shells from the halt. The pummeler can stun a stalker right in your face, saving you from imminent death. And I have had great luck with the staggers from the Punisher and Slugger. Also, the Bushwhacker. Never leave the Super Destroyer on a bug hop without it. Gas is extremely effective as well. It's really hard for some insane, horrible mutant thing to rip your lungs out to wear as a funny hat when he's on a bad trip from Termicide 3.0. Orbital gas strikes, the dog breath drone, the sterilizer, gas grenades, anything and everything helps. Do whatever it takes as long as it takes wherever it takes you, so long as it takes them away from you. So I think that you're starting to see that while the Predator strain certainly is scary, if you shift your tactics around just a little, you pretend like the rock stars you are, just like always. I'll admit I was a little concerned this morning, given how intense and violent this terminating incursion was, but thanks to the intervention of the 104th and the Frostfang Wardens, the bugs are having a very hard time, even so much as existing on the dusty moor of Nidavellir. By the way, if there are any Frostfang Wardens in the audience tonight, please reach out to Icarus or Jarl Quicksilver. When I asked earlier, the 104th did not know of you, but they definitely want to. You should swing by their meat hall and introduce yourselves. Link is in the description below. In other news, those nice boys over in the Legion Divers have still been unable to locate their marvels, and have decided to pursue a war against the Chaos Divers. Yeah, because when the Illuminate are driving a black hole around like a fluffing super Mazda, and we're dealing with a new mutated strain of bugs who are demonstrating increasing degrees of intelligence, you really just should open up a new front and attack a firmly entrenched enemy who might be just as crazy as you are, they just hide it better. Anyway, Emperor Valerian made a statement several days ago announcing their intentions, which I will now relay for your listening pleasure.
They said if we spill Chaos Diver blood, the void of space itself will rise against us. That the shadows will turn, that the stars will betray us. Let them try! We are Legion! We do not falter! We do not break! The Chaos Divers only bring madness, ruin, and death! We will overthrow them! We will crush them! If the void stands with them, then the void is our enemy! We will burn it from the stars! We march forward! We do not kneel! We do not lose! They call us mad for resisting, fools for fighting back, but we are neither! We are the sword that shatters tyranny! The fire that will purge the darkness from the stars! Let them come! Let them strike! We will not break! And we will not kneel! Semper victorious! And remember, Mors Tyranids!
Compounding the woes of the Chaos Divers, which it is becoming increasingly faster to list the Helldiver units that don't seem to have a problem with them, the 2.5, is that how you pronounce this? Whatever. The 2.5 regiment has similarly declared war on them to purge the cancer of chaos from Super Earth, with the goals of eliminating Ambassador Radical, Primarch Romulus, and not Oso and Autotron Radio. These reports are not yet confirmed. This could just be a bad actor who does not represent the 2.5th at large. You guys do know that Oso is a Faunus with a Earthside affinity, right? He's a bear that can tear Helldivers in full hell armor in half like a phone book. And going after Nott? Why? I mean, it's your funeral. I'm sure that he'll say some nice words over your corpse when he's finished thrashing you. Heck, Autotron Radio is one of the nicest people that I have ever met, and he was attending this press conference in my place because I had other engagements. For your sake, 2.5th, there better be an amazing explanation behind this. I'd suggest drafting some apology letters or notifying your next of kin, and that's not a threat, that's an observation from an independent newscaster. Now for news from the business world. The Venture Company and the Bank of Prosperity are engaging in some disputes with the Deep Rock Galactic Company over declaring the remains of Angel's Venture a historical site that is not to be touched or altered in any way. DRG expressed some frustration over these negotiations, citing the massive wealth of an exposed planetary core without needing to further invest in cracking the planet. Last I heard, the Venture Company wasn't biting. The conclusion of this dispute remains to be seen. But Gunvald Corporation made a policy change yesterday to remove permacure stims from any and all medkits assigned to regular Gunvald troops and their reserves. These will be replaced by conventional medical supplies and equipment. Students will remain in the repertoire of Gunvold Helldivers, so no real change there. However, an internal memo has been released reminding all Gunvold divers to report to medical personnel after a deployment where they have been wounded. Stims stop the bleeding and dull the pain, but do nothing more for the injury in question. Sounds to me like they could use some of those nukems made by Genodyne. I use a variant of these to help put my fish units back together in the field, and I can personally attest to their efficacy. As for news from the galactic sphere, the invasion of Fenrir III most people are well aware of, and said invasion has drawn manpower away from Erata Prime, giving the garden variety Terminids there a breather. In the southern frontier, the Illuminate have been diligently collecting more dark matter from Afaliepe and Oasis. But something interesting has happened. Despite being virtually unopposed in their harvesting operations, Viridia has dropped beneath 60% accumulation today. Could the Illuminate be having trouble finding willing volunteers to have their brains drained? Or could there be something more deeply wrong? It could not have happened to a nicer bunch of squids, if so. The Science Center on Fenrir III has observed that Meridia's EM field has shifted ever so slightly. Almost as if it's in response to the Sporefall event taking place upon the planet as we speak. Terminids break down into E710 when they die, which we rely upon to manipulate space-time for our Okhebia drives, as you all know. Could Terminids have some ability to manipulate exotic particles just by their very existence? Now we're asking the hard questions. The Ministry of Science refused further comment on the matter, probably because they realized who I was, and started screaming for the Ministry of Truth to come and save them. What a bunch of whiners. That's been Liberty's latest with me, Pandera the Radio Angel. Fighting looks to continue through the night and will probably finish up on Fenrir III within the next day or so, assuming, of course, that we don't get hit by anything big and get distracted. We've already got the Predator strain's number, and if it bleeds, we can kill it. For liberty, for freedom, for democracy, and for Super Earth.